Welcome to the Retro Video Store Podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Retro Video Store Podcast. I'm your host Eric.
Hi, Eric.
And that's my co-host Neil.
I'm Neil. And who quite possibly is with us and not watching a basketball, football, or other sporting event?
This is Dave.
Because basketball got go over early.
Yeah, basketball's over early. There's no football.
You're going to be focused this time, actually.
Yeah, I'm engaged in this episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think theme months are not a good thing because whenever we stick to a specific theme, we kind of our listenership goes to shit. So I feel like we're just going to be just doing just random movies until we get to Halloween, and then we'll just do a bunch of horror movies. But we can pick a bunch of different horror movies, so there's not really a theme. But Monster March, yeah,
so
good.
Please allow me to retort.
Yes.
I don't think it's so much necessarily that we've got themed months, is that you go a little bit boop boop with the movies you pick, and nobody wants to fucking watch those or cares about those particular.
A little too
films.
obscure? Is that what you're saying? A little too obscure?
Maybe a little bit too obscure.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like that fan-made film, the Godzilla porn you sent me. I'm sure you found that interesting. But I didn't want to see Godzilla grow a spike from right there.
Sometimes I wonder if my interests are a little too niche for a podcast aimed at more people. I don't know. Let us know, listeners, if you want to hear me talk about more Godzilla movies or Gamera, or you just tune out as soon as you see it because they're hard to find, and maybe you don't like giant monsters as much as I do. Maybe we'll just pepper those in once or twice a year. I don't know. But, yeah. We need to do something about it's discouraging a little bit, just to be honest with you.
I want to, and Dave, this is just for Dave, because we've tuned in a couple times and Eric has been disparaging about our personal appearances. But I just want to say that you and your facial hair are looking on point today, sir.
Well, thank you, Neil.
No. Schnookums.
I got a nice fade recently.
Oh no, I was looking. I saw. I paid attention.
Got all faded up and everything. I'm ready to go.
Nice, man. You think you're all sick now? Think you're all bad now, bro?
Yeah. You spent a week in New Mexico and you come back talking.
We did not have an episode last week because it was spring break and I was in New Mexico and I was thinking I was better than fuck, SA. Because talking like that for like 3 days, and Jamie just wanted to jump out of the car.
More than normal.
Give me fool.
More than normal.
Fool? Yeah.
Well, so tell all four people what happened. You took a step onto the wild side.
I got a tattoo.
Eric got tattooed. Dave, do you have tattoos?
Yeah, they're from the 90s and they're super faded.
He's got Boner Garage. Don't you have like your name in English font or something like that, David? Somewhere.
I've got my name in Old English. That was a 1997 decision. Yeah,
holy shit!
Yeah. You can't read it now. It's all faded and kind of blended. It looks like shit.
You can go get that cleaned up.
I know. I need to.
Since I was born and raised in New Mexico, I decided to get the old Zia on my forearm. I went to a place called Shrine Tattoo in Santa Fe. They did a hell of a job. Malia, the tattoo artist, she did a really good job.
Yeah, I was impressed, man. Those lines are clean. The fade on the ink is super clean, and then the green on the inside. It looks good, dude.
Yep, it looks like a good job. So
looks like it's healing up nice too.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Peeling a little bit past 2 days, but now today's like the first day. Tomorrow will be a week since I got it, so it's starting to feel more normal. So
got to get a little aquifer on there, dude. Keep it.
I have been. That's to have it constantly. In fact, I just put some on right before we started recording. So
did you pick up the stuff I sent you?
Not yet. I have it on my Amazon wish list. I just haven't.
Get that one for your second tattoo. Once you get one, you're going to want to get more.
That's what I've heard.
take yours truly right here. Take that into account.
Mhm.
Get one tattoo and they just start stacking up.
Mhm.
I don't have
Could
the
be
one
an
that says-
expensive hobby because it wasn't cheap to get this.
How much did you pay for that?
$260.
$260.
Yeah.
Well, considering the size and the color, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Everybody's saying that.
That's not
all
bad.
the
Did you
other tattoo
wait?
people at work.
Okay, here it comes. Did you tip?
Of course.
Okay,
So it was like $220, and then I, tipped an extra $40. I don't
Whoa,
know if that's good enough.
slow down, big baller.
I know.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. It's my first tattoo.
Yeah, he's knocking those Benjamins out there, huh, Dave?
Yeah.
Wow, this guy.
Yeah. Holy fuck. Eric, slow down.
I'm cheap. Sorry. I'll have to send her some money. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about tattooing. This
I
is
don't know.
not Tattoo Illustrated, the magazine
I could talk about tattoos though. I enjoy
that all the
tattoos.
bikers that would, when I worked at Hastings, would always get Tattoo Illustrated while we were, cruising through that stuff. But
Couldn't have been for the weird, skanky, half naked chicks with tattoos in it, could it?
I bet you that was probably the primary reason. Yes.
I'm gonna bet it was too.
We're here to talk about the last movie that was supposed to be part of Monster March, a movie called The Host, a South Korean movie that is pretty damn awesome. Came out in 2006. It was really, really good. It's definitely worth watching, and we'll get into that, but let's do what we always do. David, what did you watch this week? Past 2 weeks?
Switching it up. Well, I've watched a lot of college basketball.
Same here.
Not doing well in my bracket, but my team's still in it. And then, so I watched the Eclectic State with the.
The Russo brothers. That's supposed to. I hear it's awful. It's on Netflix.
I mean, it's entertaining. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's entertaining. It's Millie Bobby Brown's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember. I think Chris Pratt. It wasn't bad. And then I watched Zero Dark 30.
That's a good one.
Which I thought was really good. That's it, pretty much. I listened to a podcast about the raid, and so I wanted to listen to Zero Dark 30. And, man, I thought they did a really good job at the end with the intensity of no music when they're going in with their night goggles and rain the comp. It was well done. Neil, what did you watch?
I watched Speak No Evil, as did Eric. I'm on the couch and I get a text. It's like, have you seen Speak No Evil? And I think I just took a screenshot of the TV and sent it back to you. It's like, yep, that's exactly what I watched.
That's super funny that you were watching it right when I was asking you, hey, did you watch this movie? And you're watching it at the same time. My
mind to your mind.
I must have sent it out through the, brain waves.
Well, it's we're connected now. It's a brotherhood it's a brotherhood of tattoos.
Yes, we are connected now. So.
I watched Popeye the Slayer Man.
How was that?
It was fucking amazing. It was so bad, but it was amazing for that very reason. Holy crap. Just watch it. It's frozen pizza. It's not that great, but it's exactly, what you're going to get into when you watch that. Mm-hmm. And then I watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent because that movie just cracks me up. Had a bad little run there for a few days, so I think I need something to kind of make me laugh. So I did that, and then Wicked. Yeah,
you watch Wicked?
No, I'm fucking around. I would never watch.
I was going to say what?
Yeah. I could care less. I took Sammy to go see in San Francisco, and we went and saw the musical, and I loved. The stage production, the sets. That when I go to watch theater, that's what I'm concerned about myself. Mm-hmm. We watched Hamilton. I'm like, okay, that was kind of clever. We watched Clue. Clue was really good on stage. Clue was amazing. The cast that we saw and everything that they did. But I have no desire to see Wicked at all, ever, period. Done.
Yeah. So, David, I want to go back to basketball for a minute. Let you know that my bracket is 94.8% correct. My Final Four is exactly the Final Four. 94.8% correct bracket this year.
Eric, this is like, you're living the best life ever right now.
So, yeah, I was I'll be interested to see if my my actual pick works out. But yeah, 94.8% correct. I was on fire.
Do you win something for this? Is there like some prize or acclaim that comes with
I'm in
it?
a bracket pool at work, so I'll win that one. So that's bragging rights for that one.
Yeah, it's pride and bragging rights, Neil.
Yeah. So, yeah, but 94.8% correct.
Pride and bragging rights is why I walk around without a towel on at the gym. not watching basketball.
Okay, while we're talking about things that are true, Eric's bracket is 90% correct.
It's
Mine's
really
not good, but I still have the Duke Blue Devils. That of course, I'm loyal and I'm ready to ride. It's gonna be a long week until the Final Four.
Yep.
Did I mention it's really cold in my gym?
Mm-hmm.
Like really cold. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So going back to Speak No Evil, David, I'm sorry you haven't watched it yet. You should check it out. It's on Peacock.
Are you going to ruin it?
I'm not going to try. I'm going to do my best not to ruin it.
Okay.
But I will say that James McAvoy does a hell of a job of being a psycho in this movie. And it's kind of a social commentary on how far people will go to not be socially incorrect. they will appease people to the degree that is nearly fatal.
I'm just going to go with that. All it did was make me really, really want to just step in and kill those people myself. I realize that they have to be giant sissies. I realize that they have to like not have an aggressive streak in them.
Yeah.
But there were at so many instances, and this is not going to ruin anything, where the bad guy's down on the ground. All you got to do is pick your foot up and down 3 or 4 times and set it down as hard as you possibly can. And you're going to do okay. She had that fucking fork. Boop, 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 boom. 5 times, 6 times into the neck. Not a problem. But what did they do? And then they ran away and cried in a different room.
Yeah,
my fucking inner New Mexico came out watching that because I was talking to the damn TV.
Yeah, when I watched it, it's a fun movie because they stretch out the awkwardness and the cringe factor really, really long until you're like, when the fuck is the shoe going to drop when they realize how fucked they are, and when they finally do, it get the last 30 minutes are all just a cat and mouse type thing, but just the way this super yuppie PC couple can't function without trying to be apologetic or contrite to this other couple. It's really worth watching. It's a lot of fun. It is done pretty well. It's got a lot of cringe factor in the movie. And it's worth watching. It's worth checking out. I just kind of watched it on accident. I'm like, hey, do you want to watch this? Sure, let's watch it. And then we watched it, and then I enjoyed it. Neil, thumbs down?
Thumbs down. Thumbs down. Up until them getting stuck at that fucking farmhouse, I was like, all right, cool, this is awkward. I'm enjoying it. But then, dude, the only one who sacked up at the end was that kid, was the little kid. He's the only one that sacked up at the end. And I'm like, yes, finally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hear the Danish version is way the fuck more bleak. It came out in 2022, the Danish version, and then they immediately put it in production, the American version, and the Danish version is way more bleak. I was reading about it on Wikipedia. I'm like, damn, they didn't pull any punches. Where the American version is a lot more sanitized and less confrontational and bleak than the Danish version. So, which makes me want to see that one as well. Speak No Evil.
Well, hopefully it's better. I mean, the most entertaining thing was his little thing about, do you fold it up or do you scunch it?
David, check it out. It's good. And
I'll watch it.
Audience, if you have not seen it, check it out. It's pretty good. But other than that, I had watched a lot of just bullshit. I mean, just stuff that's been on TV, some true crime stuff. Been watching like Dateline and other things. I don't know why. and a lot of basketball, a shitload of basketball. Load of basketball. Yeah.
Shitload.
I took the Thursday of the tournament off, so I watched basketball on that day. Watched basketball all Friday, all Saturday. Then we went to New Mexico, and I've been watching some women's basketball too, just all the time. March Madness, man. But going back to the podcast and kind of what we're going to watch, and hopefully we're going to vary it up. We were going to do Adult April with all the kind of like, steamy movies, but I think we'll at least do maybe one or two of them. So next week is Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma's classic from 1980.
Classic.
I think Neil, you'll probably not enjoy it.
Classic.
I know this. Tell.
I know this movie. When you say classic, I'm like, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, you are not De Palma fan, I don't think.
No, I am not.
Have you seen Dressed to Kill, David?
I have not.
Okay. It's like an American giallo movie.
The only reason I watched this fucking movie, Dave, was because of this guy when we were kids.
There's nudity.
Yeah, there was nudity. That was about it. That was really the selling factor for teenage me.
Mm-hmm. So, but we're going to kind of move it, shuffle it around. If you have any suggestions for us, send it to, I'm going to say it now since we're at the beginning, rvspodcast222@gmail.com. If you have any things you really want us to watch, let us know. But right now, we're going to talk about The Host from 2006. David, had you seen it before?
I have not seen it before.
Mm-hmm. Neil, how about you?
Oh, yeah, I've seen this one before.
Yeah. I saw it probably about 2008, 2009 when it first came out on video. I really, really liked it. And I forgot almost everything about it until I watched it again this week. And I'm like, man, Korean movies are good. There's some freaking really good Korean movies. And they pull no punches. There's not that kind of, coddling the audience that American movies do.
There's not going to be like an Independence Day of like the fireball and the dog jumping over things and making it. In a Korean movie, that dog gets toasted.
Exactly.
It gets killed.
Don't get attached to characters because they can go. Just like Train to one of the first, after watching The Host, the Train to Busan was one of the movies of Korean cinema that I thought just fucking blew me away. Old Boy is another one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good ones. I have not seen Parasite, which is another movie that this director did. I hear it's really, really good, won Academy Award. I have not seen it yet. Have either of you guys seen Parasite?
Yes, I have seen Parasite, and it is a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to seek it out and watch it several times, but it was a good movie. Yeah.
So it was directed by Bong Joon-ho. Please forgive me, any Korean listeners, if we have them, for I'm not intentionally slaughtering people's name. But he is a good director. He did that new movie that just came out, which is, here is a good movie, but it's not doing that great at the box office. Mickey 17.
Yeah, it looked really interesting, but I don't think there was any way I would get my family to go watch that flick with me.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. It's getting good reviews. It came out, it's got Robert Pattinson, and about the guy who just like basically is a clone that gets killed and keeps coming back, and then he has like realizes that he's coming back, and it's kind of like a really bleak futuristic Groundhog Day. I hear it's pretty good. But he did a movie. First movie he did was called Barking Dogs Never Bite, and then he did a movie called Memories of Murder, of which I hear is really, really good, a neo-noir crime thriller. Then he did The Host in 2006. He did a movie called Mother in 2009. He did Snowpiercer 2013. The movie Snowpiercer is really, really good. I've never watched the series.
Series is not so hot, but the movie good, yes.
Yeah. And he's in there's a movie called Okja, OKJA, about a girl who's raising a genetically modified super pig. So I've not seen that one.
I have seen the little, pop-up block for that when I've been looking through for movies and things, but
yeah. But he's definitely an interesting director. And I think Korean cinema is really, really good. There's a lot of was that one called I Saw the Devil? I think it's like called I Saw the Devil, where the guy's trying to solve his daughter's murder, and that is really, really hard watch. It's a good one. And then just a bunch of good movies that they're coming out with. I know that a lot of people enjoy Korean dramas. You're saying your mom, Neil, enjoys Korean dramas?
My mom's ahead of the curve, dude. My mom's been ahead of the curve for years. So since my dad passed, whenever I go visit, we spend a lot of time on the couch watching TV, and she's like, "Hey, find me a good show." So I start to go through Netflix, and I mean, she's got nothing but time on her hands. She goes, "I've watched this, I've watched this, I've watched this, I've watched this." But then everything's Korean. My mom just consumes Korean series and movies. She just loves what's coming out of
That's
Korea.
cool. There was the one called The Wailing that I keep seeing to watch, and it's supposed to be really scary and weird. It came out in 2016. It's on Shudder and some other of the different streaming services. It's definitely one of the movies I wanted on my to watch list. It looks really weird, kind of a serial killer, supernatural evil spirit type movie that looks really good. But let's talk about The Host. The Host was, to me, I got a lot of buzz when it first came out, and I hadn't had a chance to see it until it was, I think it was on HBO, and I watched it, and it's really imaginative, and it doesn't go in the directions you think that a normal monster movie is going to go. And it's almost like it's also a family drama kind of interspersed in the movie itself. Different the way the family gets along or doesn't get along, and the dynamics is pretty cool. Do you want to hit us with the Internet Movie Database tagline?
A monster emerges from Seoul's Han River and begins attacking people. One victim's loving family does what it can to rescue her from its clutches.
Yeah.
And they fail.
I know. That was to me
losers.
That was to me was the surprising thing, and we'll talk about it as we get to it. Is that they didn't do what they set out to do, which is really kind of like fuck. That was pretty rough. So, directed by Bong Joon-ho, also co-written by him. It debuted at the Cannes Film Festival on May 21st of 2006, had $11 million budget and made $97 million worldwide. It was a huge movie for Korea. It's one of the biggest Korean movies up to that point, and had been co-produced by a Japanese production company, but it bombed in Japan. For some reason, nobody wanted to see a giant monster movie that wasn't Godzilla in Japan at that time.
Having spent a small amount of time in Japan myself, there are some racial tensions, maybe even some prejudices. And I wonder if that maybe played into this just a little bit.
Yeah.
When I saw a billboard that literally translated to, "It's so simple a Korean could use it."
Oh. Yeah,
so
it's not good.
No, not good at all.
No. Mm-hmm.
Start heading out of the countryside, you see some weird shit, just like in America.
You want to hit us with the critical consensus?
Yeah, let's do that. All right. The Host garnered widespread critical praise. On Rotten Tomatoes, 93% of 155 critic reviews were positive, and that gives us an average rating of 7.7 to 10. And the website's consensus reads, "As populace-pleasing as it is intellectually satisfying, The Host combines scares, laughs, and satire into a riveting monster movie." Metacritic, it uses a weighted average. It gives this film a score of 85 out of 100 based on 35 critics, indicating universal acclaim.
That's one of the highest Metacritic scores I can think of in a while. Usually they're like 70, 60, and they still think that the 85, that's pretty high.
I would just like to have had this back when we were like in junior high. Like, I got an 85 on my math test. That is universal acclaim for my algebra skills. Moreover, several publications listed it among the top films of 2006 or 2007. In IndieWire's 2007 critics poll, it placed 17 on their best film list based on 19 mentions. Bong also tied for 16th on the best directors list. South Korean journalists believe the film demonstrated Bong's expertise and generally lauded the blend of comedy and horror. Meanwhile, the American press mostly praised the film's recreational appeal, originality, and political satire. Manoia Dargis considered it the greatest film shown at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival. I was at Cannes that year, and there are other films I like better. She wrote in the New York Times, "The Host is a loopy, feverishly imaginative genre hybrid about the demons that haunt us from without and within." The Tokyo Shimbun spoke positively of how the film has a different taste from American horror movies. The Asahi Shimbun, Shimbun, like newspaper Shinbun, but they have with an M. So I'm really kind of curious about this. It's just annoying me. Lauded the eventful script, light tone, special effects, theme, suspense, and humor.
Would you say light tone? I didn't really think it had that really light of a tone.
So I'm just going to go off just for a second. So like some of the shows I watch with my mom are like real serious. Like there's like some shit going on, like gangsters and stuff. And like out of nowhere, they have like weird slapstick. Just out of nowhere, they'll just do the dumbest shit and then go right back to like lighting each other on fire and nailing each other to the wall. So I think having like seen some of this and then watching this again, I got a little kind of insight into what they like to do to sort of break that up. But light tone, I don't know. Dana Stevens described it as a flawless monster movie. Some reviewers were, however, more critical. Kim So-young is related to Kim So-old. Dismissed the latter half of the film, and everyone, that's so racist. No, it's just fun. Dismissed the latter half of the film as nihilistic, while Lee Hyun-kyung felt the allegory was one-dimensional and the banter was often over the top. We have to stop the Korean on Korean critical violence.
Critical violence here, yeah.
That's what we have to do. Moon Suk of the South Korean film magazine Cine 21 cited the performances of Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go as the film's central strength because they provided emotional intensity to the film. There's not a time that I watched this movie that I didn't think that Byun, Park, Bae, and Go and Song really gave that emotional punch.
You're doing really well there, Neil.
Yeah, thank you. Because originally when I saw it, I was like, that one Korean guy, he's doing a great job. But after really watching and thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? It is Song, Byung, Park, Bae, and Go. Those are the guys that are really kind of taking it to us. Anyway, they provide emotional intensity to the film, and according to the Korean Film Council, Bong's collaboration with Song and Bae was praised for its entertainment value in combination with social and political commentary. Adrian Martin highlighted Bae's performance and also agreed that Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go gave an emotional punch to this, and adds a dimension that no American blockbuster can even approach. Wilson's performance was singled out by Jim Emerson of RogerEbert.com, noting that he was clearly having fun. Little weird. Wanted to point out the white guy.
He was just having a great time.
I personally was really impressed with Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go. Western reviewers often compared The Host to Godzilla, fuckers, and many other monster movies from the 20th century. Empire described it as if Ken Loach remade Godzilla. Martin said the experience of watching the film was akin to seeing Jaws upon its initial 1975 release, but described Bong as a much more interesting and intricate director than Spielberg ever could be, and really noted the emotional punch of Song, Byung, Park, Bae, and Go. Adam Naiman pointed out similarities to Wendigo, with characters feeding the monster and unknowingly provoking it to eat them, and, like most reviews, according to him, highlighted how Bong acquaints the audience with the monster and the emotional appeal and punch given with the performances of Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go. The scene when it first comes ashore was awe-inspiring, exotic, and even a touch humorous for Peter Bradshaw, and he felt it wasn't as daunting in comparison to Ridley Scott's Alien. Moon Suk and Heo Moon Young also compared the film to Bong's previous work on Memories of Murder, remarking that both films incorporate genre blending and political critique, but noted that The Host has a greater emphasis on these.
Let's talk about the politics a little bit in this movie.
Can I finish reading that?
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, in particular, the emotional punch given by Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go.
Thanks, Neil.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Politics, yeah. America not looking so good, but probably, pretty authentic experience from from Koreans, because it's based on a true story or a true scandal where the they were dumping formaldehyde in. It says described the beginning of the film based on actual event in February 2000 at a U.S. military facility located in the center of Seoul. The U.S. military civilian employee named Mr. McFarlane had ordered to dispose of formaldehyde by dumping it into the sewer system that led to the Han River, despite the objection of a South Korean subordinate. The government attempted to prosecute McFarlane in court, but the U.S. military refused to hand over the custody of Mr. McFarlane to the South Korean legal system. Yeah. Later, a judge convicted him in absentia, and the public was enraged at the government's inability to enforce its own law on its own soil. In 2005, nearly 5 years after the original incident, Mr. McFarlane was finally found guilty in a court in his presence. However, he never served the prison sentence, and there had been no sightings of mutant creature in the Han River yet.
Yet.
Yes.
No creature in the Han River, but you know what? There's still an emotional punch given by Songbyeon Park, Bay, and Go.
Thank you.
Let us not forget that.
Uh-huh.
We don't want that to go unmissed. Shall we talk about the legacy of the film?
Let's talk about the legacy, yes.
All right. Since its release, several publications have named The Host as one of the greatest science fiction films ever made and among the best monster and horror films of the 21st century thus far. IndieWire also called it the century's defining monster film. The film placed number 81 on Empire's list of the 100 best films of world cinema. That appeared on Entertainment Weekly's list of the 25 best monster movies and Korean horror films of all time. And Rotten Tomatoes' list of greatest horror movies, it is also listed in the film reference book of 1001 movies you must see before you die. And that seems to me would be a great way to put off death. You just start watching that. You know you're on death's door.
1001 movies. Yeah,
I'm not done. I
movies.
gotta go through these. Multiply that by like an hour and a half. You could give yourself a little extra time to do some things.
Mm-hmm.
In 2009, filmmaker Quentin Tarantino listed The Host among his top 20 favorite films since his directorial debut in 1992. Upon meeting Bong in 2013, Tarantino described how he was blown away by the film.
You gotta listen to me, man. This is the greatest movie of all time.
He felt that Bong succeeded in recreating the monster genre, and more importantly, the emotional punch given by Songbyeon Park, Bay, and Go as the film's central strength.
The only thing that this movie was missing, there was no feet. The monster should have eaten people's feet.
Tarantino described how he was blown away by the film, and he felt that Bong succeeded in recreating the monster genre through focusing on a weird, fucked up family. A poll conducted by Film Comment in 2010 regarding the top films of the 2000s voted by filmmakers, critics, and academics ranked The Host 71st with 441 votes, ahead of Bong's Memories of Me, which placed 84th. That same year, French film magazine something de cinema Home to Cinema, ranked it the fourth best film of the decade. In 2014, South Korean audiences voted The Host the ninth greatest Korean film of all time, Bong's second best after Memoirs of Murder. There's more. Shall we keep going? Okay, but I think, all right, I'm going to summarize that last little bit. Okay. The performances of Songbyeon Park, Bay, and Go really give, that's the central strength and provide the emotional intensity of the film. Songbyeon Park, Bay, and Go. I feel like Richard Dawson, Whitman, and Haddad. Remember when he's listing off the names of the guys in The Running Man? No?
Mm-hmm. Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh, I know. Yeah. One was Whitman and Haddad. There was another one, but I can't remember. But you know what I can remember is Songbyeon Park, Bay, and Go.
I've noticed that.
Yes.
David, do you have anything to add?
I'm just sitting here letting this unfold.
Uh-huh.
I do agree with the opening sequence of the film. Yeah, at first I thought I saw the poster for this movie and you said you were going to watch this. Fuck. All right, I'll watch this. But I actually gave it a shot I was hooked within the first few minutes because that opening scene was awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, it starts with them dumping the formaldehyde in the river, and then just you see the gradual progression, and like there's guys are fishing, and then they like bites his cup or whatever, and then it's like a tadpole size, and then at the beginning, like you said, it just people are throwing stuff at it, and you know trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and once it pops out of the water and it's just chasing people, the way it looks, just kind of the perspective, and then people are just getting whipped around, and when those guys are trying to get shelter in that trailer, and it gets in that trailer and fucks everybody up. You're like, this movie's playing for real here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
I just loved it going for that quick little like jaunt along the side of the river. It's getting in some cardio like a lot of people do along the waterways, and killing some people at the same time. I had forgotten a lot of this movie, but what I did not forget was it hanging by its tail and kind of swinging itself around trapeze styles underneath the bridge.
Yeah, that was really good. The way they did that was pretty awesome. I'm trying my best not to slaughter these names, but basically, Gangdu is the guy who's the father of the girl that they're trying to rescue, and he's just kind of a slacker. And I can't believe he even had a girlfriend to father a child with, based on his personality. But he's kind of hanging out at the family snack bar, sleeping, and really not doing much with his life. His father, is the one who's holding everything together. And they got a daughter who's a Olympic or national level archer. That's going to come to play later on. It's just kind of the Chekhov's gun of the movie is her. You see her being an archer, and how's that going to play into the movie? And they've got a kind of a slacker, alcoholic brother who's was into protesting and all that kind of stuff, and he's just kind of hanging around, not able to find a job. And Hyun So is the girl, the school girl that we're looking that they ultimately get snatched up and they're looking for.
I was just listening to you go through because I really wanted to hear you like really mention the contributions of all of them, so that we covered Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, the creature attack is really, really well done. The monster looks it's not too bizarre. It looks kind of like a fish, octopus looking thing. It's plausible that something happened, something got mutated. So it's not too, it's scary at the same time because it is, the way it acts, but it is, it's kind of plausible looking, I think, in its creature design. One part that I thought was kind of crazy is just how emotional they got during the funeral. It was like really over the top, kind of like wailing and mad and stuff like that. It made me kind of tear up, but they were just so like, all the family drama came out, and they were so mean to the slacker brother, who's the dad of the girl who got kidnapped. They just treat him like shit because he's such a kind of a slacker. And
did that kind of like resonate with you a little bit, Dave, and make you a little bit angry? Oh, he took his headphones off at the right fucking time too. right as we're trying to give him a little bit of shit, and he checks out of the podcast.
Yeah, David, we were trying to give you shit, and then you took your headphones off.
Sorry, I heard a noise outside. What were you giving me shit about?
Well, he was talking about how everybody was picking on the slacker brother and how that made him feel kind of sad. And I'm like, is this really what helped solidify the relationship between you and Dave?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, there we go.
So the lot of the critique comes from the way the government handles the whole situation. They are convincing people that there's a virus outbreak because of the monster, and they quarantine everybody who saw it. And this is 14 years before COVID, but you can see a lot of that kind of it feels more contemporary now because of the government control and and some of the stuff that maybe they were forthright about and maybe not forthright about. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but it's just kind of like, do you trust your government? Is your government telling you the right things? Especially if you're the Korean government, do you trust what the American government's telling you based on everything that's happened beforehand?
That was a convoluted way to say fake news, Eric.
Yeah.
Very convoluted. You want to make Korea great again.
Yeah. So they're quarantined, and the daughter, who didn't like her cell phone, they managed to call from the sewer, and that kind of prompts the whole family to escape from the quarantine area, and they get kind of in the service of these Korean gangsters are taking them for all their worth for shitty maps and crappy equipment.
You're right on the money. I mean, I have nothing to say. It's just, but I love the way you noted this, because when I watched it, I really didn't pay attention to the character names. I mean, I knew the actors and I really felt what they were adding to it, especially Park Byun, Song, Bae, and Go. Almost forgot one. It had that much emotional punch. But I love that you're like, Ju, the boy, hides with Hyun Seo. And like, I wouldn't have fucking known. You're like, the kid hides with the little girl. All right, cool. That I got.
It was tough for me to write notes because I tried to keep the characters right, and I was going through the same thing, because that's the toughest part about watching a movie in a language that you don't speak, is just trying to keep the characters.
Alcoholic brother talks to dad. Said you got Park Ging-do tells dad there's still more shells. Alcoholic brother. Alcoholic brother. We got it.
Yeah, but when the dad died, that was kind of sucked. You knew it was going to happen though, because he lectures them on how they need to treat their brother in this quiet moment where they're all taking a refuge in their little snack bar, and they talk about how he was smart when he was young, and then he was left alone too much, and he didn't have enough protein to be smart. I don't know. It was a long, kind of sad little story.
It was a whole thing. I was just impressed how those guys could nod off just sitting cross-legged and then wake up like nothing was going on. It just, I fall asleep on the couch like that, and I wake up and my neck is wrecked for days. I sneeze wrong and my back pops, and I'm like, oh shit, did I piss myself, and can I feel my left leg?
Yeah, that's the way I am too.
Yeah.
Old age is getting us. But when the dad buys the farm, it is sad, and the monster doesn't even take him. He just whips him onto the ground, and they just like, bye, and swims off, and just that sucked. That
monster just fucking played with its food. It really
did.
And okay, I'm gonna skip a little bit. It's perfectly willing to just take maybe certain little like morsels and just kind of and then put them down in his little hidey hole, like he's worried he's not going to have enough for later, but then he shows up and just puts out a cubic ton of bones and green shit just cacking out of him. Like, where the hell was that? Where were you storing that at?
Yeah, that was really gross.
I like the way the kid looked like she smelled. They all look like they fucking smelled down in there.
Yeah.
Yes. That was very, very gritty, being stuck in the sewers for so long. And then, there's a ransom out for the capture of the family, because they're on the loose and supposedly carrying the virus, and everybody's looking for them. So that adds another layer of tension in the movie when they're looking for the family, and they find a guy to help them, but that he's just a fucking turncoat, turns him in immediately. But they keep the information. I thought the Archer sister, was dead after she got whipped into the wall by the monster at that point. I'm like, well, that sucks. But she lived. I thought the Agent Yellow was a nice nice touch, that the U.S. government was going to intervene and use Agent Yellow to kill the monster, and that didn't work very well. Sort of worked. I don't know.
It was too neat for the whole film, and then we've just got some Agent Yellow. No.
It worked. I agree with Eric.
I just kind of like how everything comes to a head. All the disinformation. They want the dullard brother, who's the dad of the girl, is kind of a political prisoner, and people are rallying to his cause. They almost lobotomize him, which is kind of scary. How did he get out of that? I thought they were going to do it, and then he manages to get out of it. It's like they were all prepped up and ready to go, and I didn't see how, or maybe I didn't pay attention well enough of how he got out of that.
Maybe if we would have done the movie last week, like last week, like we were supposed to, I would remember, but I've already filled my head with countless TV shows and other movies.
I really can't remember next thing. I mean, he's getting a lobotomy, or I'm about to get a lobotomy, and then all of a sudden he's taking the nurse hostage and getting out of the lab and out into the open.
I just thought that part, especially like his desperation to get out of there, it just really kind of led, kind of had like a deep emotional punch to it. But then again, a lot of those guys did. I would give credit for that to just not only him, but to Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go.
Yes,
in that instance. Yeah, especially them. I've just noticed my sweatshirt. I've got like a Steve Jobs vibe going on right now, and I'm kind of digging it.
You getting ready to introduce an iPhone?
I want to show you guys my new iPhone.
And how Alf.
Here's what it does.
Mm-hmm. And how having herbs and natural diet will help your cancer.
Yeah, or just go get it treated.
Yeah. The slacker brother, the one who the college educated brother, goes to his protest roots and makes a ton of Molotov cocktails to throw at the monster.
Yeah, he finally did something worthwhile, man. He cranked those suckers out like a pro. That was pretty fun.
Why? I mean, and this comes back to Speak No Evil. People can't throw in movies. Or maybe it's just a convenient plot device that people can't throw. I guess if you were good at throwing, then you would
but say
hit the monster.
Under pressure, do you think, how good are you under pressure?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I could hit a monster square with the Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, I know.
Shoulder. I can't throw with my bad shoulder. My left hand's even more awkward. It's like, eh.
Well, going back to Speak No Evil. Sorry, David. A little bit of a spoiler here. When they try to throw the stupid Molotov cocktail on the roof of the barn,
the thatched barn.
Yeah,
so stupid. So stupid.
Yeah.
And then almost gets shot, drops it, rolls around all over the place. And it's just like, pick the fucking thing up and throw it.
That dad pissed me off so bad in that movie.
Dude, I was talking to the TV. My wife was talking to the TV. My son was in the other room and he came out and he goes, "Is everything okay, guys?" Because we were both like,
I thought you were arguing.
My wife is yelling like, "Stop being such a fucking pussy, dude." My son thought she was yelling at me. Like, he came out like, "Hey, mom, whoa, you can't.
What's going on here?
Calm down, mom."
You're tearing us apart. Yeah. Going back to the host here, the biggest surprise to me is that the little girl died. They spend the entire movie trying to rescue her, and then she dies trying to protect the little boy.
She got a giant bag of shit that whole film, man. She's cold, she's hungry, she's starving, she's scared. And then, you know what? You think she's going to do it, and then she just ends up in that tail and like, fuck it, man. Didn't get you the first time, now you're going.
Yeah. And that's what I liked about the movie is that it switched your expectations. Because in a normal, like if you're watching an American movie, she would have all the clothes that she put together and created a a little grappling thing with the police baton. She would have got out, and then there would have been a chase, and all this kind of stuff would have gone on. But nope, she's immediately in the monster's clutches, and things go to shit. And yeah, it is. It just you're like, she died. What the hell?
Well,
that freaked me out.
Well, in American movies, you're sitting there like, I really want that guy to go. That guy needs to go. That guy has to go. I can't wait for the guy to get him. When's the monster going to eat that guy? And I think that was the difference in our expectation was like, nope, the girl represents, innocence, and, she's being trapped and tortured by this and suffering. She's got, there's almost like this Christ-like thing going on. And then, you know what? Fuck it. She doesn't get to make it after all. No.
Yeah.
She's carrying the burden of the family and all the shit that's going on. But you know what? Nah, that's not enough. But I mean, that was part of what I think gave it such a punch, honestly.
Yeah.
And not just her, but Song, Byun, Park, Bae, and Go.
What's going on with David? It looks like he has like a home invasion going on in his
I know, man.
Dave, are you okay?
There's like somebody yelling outside. Like, I'm gonna put the headphones.
We're like watching a movie. It's like watching Dave's home invasion movie. Like, you keep taking your headphones off and you're looking outside, and I'm expecting, like you to pull out a gun and run away. Dave, are you okay?
Dave pulls it up, just racks that thing back, and 2 in each hand. He's ready. 1 each hand. He's got 2. He's ready to go.
Yeah, but I keep my headphones on, so you could just hear me get my ass kicked outside the whole time. So Dave yell at me time out. There's somebody yelling outside. I don't know the fuck's going to have to.
Do me a favor. If you do have to shoot, just so we have it on recording, before you go, like if they do get you, I just want you to say something like, "You've broke into the wrong rumpus room."
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Of course, what happens, we expected. The monster gets covered in gasoline or whatever was in the Molotov cocktail, and the sister, who's the archer, she finds a bullseye, or literally the eye, and then it kills the monster, or wounds the monster, and then the dad, he's pretty good at swinging the street signs, and then he stabs the monster and kills it. To me, at the beginning, when they're picking up the street sign with the concrete at the end of it, that'd be fucking heavy.
Yeah, they're swinging it like there's no problem. Go kick the monster's ass. If you can do that, just go kick the monster's ass.
Yeah.
I think you're discounting the superior quality of physical education in public schools in Korea compared to what we had to go through in Farmington and Kirtland.
Yeah. Very basic physical PE. Who was our PE teacher in high school? I can't remember.
Kaywood and Adair.
Yeah.
I
thought there was a female one too, though.
I had Kaywood and Adair because we only had to do it for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Remember
the health section. Everybody had to sit and read the health. That was the worst.
That was the worst. And you know what? I got a bone to pick. So Adair, I'd say maybe 20 years ago, runs into my mom. And my mom recognizes him and says, "Oh, hello, Mr. Adair. How are you doing?" And he knows my mom because my parents were up at the school quite a bit. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking asshole goes, "Hey, so what's Neil up to?" And my mom says, "Oh, he's doing this." And she got really offended. And he goes, "He's not in prison?"
Oh, nice.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Mr. Adair. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, little trauma.
My junior high PE teacher choked me out with his hands. He was mad at me for something.
Yes.
And I remember he choked me out. And I remember kind of waking up on the basketball court like, the fuck just happened? And telling my dad, and my dad's like, "Well, you probably deserved it." Like this. He literally choked me out. Like, he didn't just "Hey kid, leave me alone." He choked me out. And then I woke up on the basketball court and he was staring at me like, fuck, that was real.
Eric tells a story about he got choked or something, but it was a church thing, a catechism or something. You got choked by something.
I was altar boy. Never happened.
Okay.
Never happened.
Okay, just checking.
I remember our junior high PE teacher hit me in the face with a volleyball and knocked my glasses off because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And you were just like, okay.
Sorry, let me pay attention now.
Exactly, I'll pay attention now. He died of cancer later, though. So,
who was that again?
Started with a C.
Oh, thank you. I get the whole,
That's why I did that.
I get that whole thing now. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to edit that part out. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, let's finally talk about the last part of the movie.
Okay.
The boy that was protected by the girl that we've been trying to save the entire movie. He winds up being, he's an orphan. So our protagonist, who grew up a little bit, he got some courage and killed the monster and stuff like that at a steep cost. He takes care of the kid, and they're wind up in this. It's a slow period. It's snowing outside, and they're listening to all the misinformation that's on TV, and they just turn it off. And They stare out in the see if there's another monster out there, and the movie's over. But I think this movie is pretty damn awesome. I recommend it. It's if you have not seen much Korean cinema, this is a good jumping off point. It's a good movie. It's worth checking out. I definitely would recommend it.
This is not a movie. This is not a movie to be set aside lightly. This is a movie to be just watched.
All right. David?
I actually really like this movie, Eric. This is one of the few times in this podcast that I've agreed with you in all honesty. Most of the time I just say it because you're the host and this is your podcast. But I actually like this one. And I was actually telling someone the other day about it at work, how I was surprised by it. And just again, the opening scene gets you hooked. And I thought just overall, man, the cinematography, it set a good tone and it carried it throughout the whole movie. And then the little bit of comedy and the humor that was in there, I thought was, made you laugh and it wasn't over the top.
Yeah.
Made me want ramen really, really
same
bad.
here. Made me want ramen too. It's like, man, that ramen looks good. Yeah.
Really bad.
Mm-hmm. Spicy ramen in the red
spicy
container.
Ramen. And I went out to a farmer's market and I got homemade kimchi. I'm actually ready to, I'm taking that to work and I'm having ramen at lunch and I'm throwing kimchi on top of it. It's going to be so good.
Nice. So next week, everybody, the 1980 slasher American giallo movie, Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma classic, starring Nancy Allen and Angie Dickinson and the body doubles boobs. Check it out.
Oh, yeah. I'll watch it.
It's a good one. I think it's on Tubi, if I'm correct here. Let me look here.
Okay, don't get me wrong. All right, I have having seen this movie before. Angie Dickinson is pretty good in it, but she is no Song Byun Park Bae or Go in this movie.
You can watch it on MGM Plus, Tubi for free, or Pluto TV for free. I have MGM Plus as part of my cable, my YouTube TV package. So some pretty good movies on there. So check it out. And if you want to give us some suggestions, rvspodcast222@gmail.com. If you want to contribute to the cause, go to buymeacoffee.com and look up the Retro Video Store. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook, sort of on Blue Sky. I haven't updated that in a while. I feel like that came out, was like, a big deal, and all of a sudden just fell off the face of the earth. So, but we're not on Twitter.
You haven't been paying any attention. No love to the Blue Sky.
Yeah, I'll have to be more into it. So, yeah.
I don't even know what Blue Sky is.
It's another social media platform, kind of like Twitter. Since everybody jumped off Twitter because of the, I keep calling it Twitter. Somebody's, you should call it X. I'm like, fuck that.
Nope, it's Twitter.
It's still Twitter. Yeah. Fuck that. Still Twitter to me. All right. Anything to add, Neil?
Not a thing. I think the contributions of Song Byun Park Bae and Go
were more than enough.
Are more than enough.
David?
Go watch this movie. You won't be disappointed.
Yep. Check it out.
And
right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Just one more thing. There were no little tiny nubby baby teeth in this movie.
Thank you.
All the teeth were the exact right size.
Okay.
Little shout out to your friend there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Retro Video Store podcast.